right. What's up, everyone? I'm Brandon,
I'm Ryan.
and this is
That's
Brandon
Brandon.
and Ryan Game Talk. This is our weekly twitch.tv/ Laird Brandon TV show where we discuss video game news from the previous week and kind of all nerdy news in general because we tend to tangent and talk about, MCU, nerdy TV shows, movies, different things
The
like
Wii
that.
U last week
Yeah, the Wii
was
U, old
interesting.
shit. We try to focus on the most recent gaming news, but we just like to talk about that kind of shit. So be
So come hang out with
forewarned.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a decent amount of sweet news this week. So the most exciting thing for me was the Ghost of Tsushima gameplay reveal,
Yes.
which I know you are also stoked about.
Yes. I think I've watched it 3 times.
Really? Shit, I watched it twice because I watched some
Yeah.
people commentate over it that I like to get their opinions on. I pulled a shorter snippet of gameplay from it. So if you don't know, PlayStation did a State of Play, which is kind of their Nintendo Direct style news dump of video for video game news. They don't do them that often, every few months. I don't think they've done one yet this year. I think this is the first one. And they just did it all focused on Ghost of Tsushima, which was 17, 18 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah.
I just pulled the certain combat styles because that's the most interesting. I think the other stuff is interesting too,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to watch 18 minutes of it. This is about 6 minutes, so I'm just gonna pull that up and we're gonna talk about it. And yeah, this isn't the highest of qualities, so this game will obviously look better if you're playing it on your TV or even if you're watching a 4K YouTube video or something, because this is pretty grainy and fuzzy because it's a Twitter video clip. But right, you'll get the gist of it. It still looks good because this game looks pretty. This video is not the prettiest, but so there's two styles of combat. It seems like so there's the samurai, which is going to show you the samurai. It's going to show you both, but it's going to show you how you can take this point as a samurai, and then it's going to show you how you can take it as the ghost, which is the stealth style gameplay. Honestly, the video seems to look better on the stream than in my native video. It's still fuzzy, but not as terrible. I suppose I could have just pulled it from the State of Play itself, but I was lazy and decided to do this 5 minutes before the show. So I keep thinking I'm more excited about this samurai gameplay, but the ghost gameplay looks just as cool. It's also no audio. Yeah, because the gameplay makes it seem like you work your way towards being the ghost from the samurai, so I don't really know, honestly. But then you can change your gear and everything to be more samurai-ish or ghost-ish. So I don't know if the becoming the ghost is more of a story beat than an actual gameplay beat. Because you are a fallen soldier, I believe, who then becomes the Ghost of Tsushima because everyone thinks you're dead. But I think you could still do the heavy samurai gameplay, but your character is the ghost. That's kind of my guess. It's unclear, but it would be weird if you just, could only do stealth later in the game. That wouldn't make sense because this gameplay looks dope as shit too. And I love the flick and you clear the blood off your blade like that before you sheath it. It's so cool. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Open world. Mm-hmm. Right. And the open world looks beautiful. But the coolest part about the open world that they showed, I think, was that finding stuff and discovering new areas is more organic as opposed to just waypoints and shit. The wind guides you to where you're going, and birds and other animals will show up and show you where shit is. Yeah, that's the most unique thing from just exploring before, you know, you do combat and shit like that. Mm-hmm. I want to know what some of the stuff on the HUD means. So, like, it brings up your bottom left, which our faces are covering. I don't know if it'll show it. And, like, it's got these yellow dots here. And I want to know what the yellow dots are. Hi, Penny. Like, are those ability charges or something where you can do cooler shit? They never seems to use them. Mm-hmm. But they never seem to go away, so I don't know. Like, maybe there's flashier abilities and shit. I'm not sure. So this guy next to the fire is clearly stronger, as you'll see. Because he couldn't assassinate him. He couldn't, like, one-hit kill him. And then even here, it's just a critical strike, but it still doesn't kill him. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I think they're bringing back for Valhalla. Mm-hmm. Like, if a stronger guy, like... Yeah. I do also like, though, if you're, like, super good at stealth, that you can eventually sneak in and kill the big guy without being noticed. Which you could still probably do at some point in this game. You just might have to upgrade yourself some. Which you usually have to do in games like that, where it's like, you can still take down everybody but the strongest. I'm trying to think of a good example, but... I know there's stuff like that, where it's you can single hit kill, stealth kill everybody but the generals, and then you can eventually get another skill that lets you do it on everyone. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I was like, we were both stoked for it, and then this, yeah, just solidified it, like you said. Right, yeah. I want that cool steelbook, you know? Mm-hmm. We'll probably... We'll probably get them at the same time, because it's supposed to come on Friday, and I've gotten stuff on release date before through Walmart, so... Yeah. So yeah. That's just some straight up combat from Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima, I think they pronounce it now. Not Tsushima. Which I think when it was first shown, they said Tsushima. Maybe.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know why there wasn't any audio in that, but whatever. Can't see the chat or hear Ryan.
Come on, man.
Is that a Tivril, is that an issue with you? Because you couldn't see Ryan before, but he was actually working. Never mind, I can hear Ryan. Okay. Freaking me out, man.
Yeah, I know. It's stressful.
Now I'm just going to go double check it quick.
We've come too far to start over this time, guys.
Right,
so.
yeah. Yeah. I'm just going to have to bear with it if there's a tech issue now.
But yeah, no, the game,
have to
if
bear
you guys
with it.
haven't watched
No,
it,
it's
I
fine.
highly recommend watching, seeing the entire video. Because there was a lot to it. Basically laid it all out. And it's gorgeous. It really is. I'm excited to see more. 'Cause clearly, that's just the iceberg as far as play and visuals of the land.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I
it looks
remember
amazing.
when they announced it, didn't they show, like, you were doing this battle with someone in a house?
It was like a duel.
Yeah, and I remember, like, the field was, like, red plants, maybe, I think, but the whole building, like, everything, it just was incredible back then, and seeing that.
Right. Yeah, that was a couple years ago now when the game first got unveiled. And yeah, then there was a story trailer, I think, at the last E3 Sony was at, so not last year but the year before. So you kind of learned a little bit, but that's all we really know about the story, is that he was a soldier and gets killed in battle, but then he's not actually killed. So that's where the ghost part comes out.
What's driving him? So
Yeah, yeah, me too. I don't think I have anything else from Ghost. Ghost comes out in July 18th, 19th,
17th,
17th, whatever that Friday
the
is. Okay, Friday the 17th.
Yep.
Pretty much a month after The Last of Us. Yeah, Samurai
I have
Vengeance.
3-day weekend to play that.
I will probably be working. Well, hopefully not on the weekend, but we'll find out.
You can make some choices between now and then.
That's true.
3-day weekend.
All right, the next like super huge thing that came out of this week was the Unreal 5 engine being revealed and running on a PlayStation 5 and captured from a PlayStation 5. So I'm not going to play this whole video either. We're just going to watch like the last not even 2 minutes of it, because that's where it's like the most flashy. So they got into the like deep tech of this. The people at Epic Games were narrating it and stuff, and just like the amount of like polygons and images and triangles they use specifically. Like each one of these statues had like, I don't know, 300,000 triangles or some shit like that. And it's just easier to render it with the new tech in the PlayStation 5. And because in current gen and last gen and everything, using the Unreal engines, they could render it that high, but then they'd have to compress it, which took a lot more dev time and a lot more different resources. So it actually makes developing easier because they don't have to spend that extra time doing the compression and things like that. But just the speed at which this game generates the particle physics and the polygons in general, and the speed of you flying through and loading and all that shit is just insane. This is actual gameplay. This would have been playable at GDC, but GDC didn't happen. It's not an actual game. It's just a tech demo, but it was fully playable, or is fully playable. It looks great. It would make a badass game, but I don't know if Epic will make it.
Oddly Tomb Raider style.
Yeah.
RPG.
And all that tech.
Lara Croft is basically a minor.
Right. And all of that tech, they have said, will work on the Xbox Series X as well. They just specifically have been working and talking with Sony about their architecture and developing this for sure. Like for that, it obviously is usable and runnable tech on an Xbox Series X. But
yes, Magic, yes. Well, it's Lara Croft, so
Laura?
I read an article about somebody was complaining essentially about how why are they showing it on PS5 when they're also sharing this technology with Xbox?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they focusing on PS5? What's the hidden agenda for this release on the PS5 gameplay? Which
I don't think there's a hidden agenda.
First off, calm down.
Right.
Second off, Xbox has released enough information. Why not give PlayStation 5 just a little something? Because we have nothing from.
Right, and I'm sure this was something like they said they've been working with PlayStation and Sony like for years, just talking next gen tech, which I'm sure they've been talking with Microsoft and Xbox as well. It would be weird if they hadn't been, but it's a marketing deal. I'm sure there's a marketing deal behind the scenes with Sony and Epic. Like, hey, when you reveal this shit or when you're doing your demos and stuff, you're doing it on PlayStation 5. And it's like the marketing deals with Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Xbox Series X. Like, you get the Xbox Splash, the Xbox Series X splash screen before the trailer show off and all that kind of shit to kind of associate people's brains with the Xbox when you think of that game, even though it will be on everything and run great on everything. It's nice because we're getting, like, it's making people excited for the PlayStation 5 without Sony directly doing the marketing, which I want Sony to start directly doing the marketing because I want to know more. But we've beat that to death, so.
Yeah.
But it's getting people talking and being excited for the PlayStation 5 without a direct PlayStation 5 announcement. People are fucking hungry for info. Hard. Do I have... Yeah, so that looks sweet. I want it to be a game. I don't think it's going to be a game because Epic makes money from Fortnite. They did say that Fortnite will next year be transferring over to this Unreal Engine, so Fortnite will probably get prettier. And Fortnite will be a launch title on Series X and PS5, if you're into that. I haven't really played Fortnite.
I'm not.
But I feel like the little bit I've played with it, like, I like it and respect Fortnite. It's just hasn't been for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only battle royale I've ever super gotten into was Apex, and that was for 4 or 5 months after it launched. I haven't played it since then. Don't know the new map at all, besides what I've seen on people streaming it. All right, next, sticking with PlayStation 5. They have said the hardware is on track. No major issues with software. Everything is on track. This is from Joe Screbbles IGN. There's not really anything else besides that. It's still on track.
That's good news, a little update along the roads.
Yeah. Remember earlier this week I told you I had heard that rumor or saw some sort of hiring post about hiring someone for the launch in October? That was just a super misprint thing. Like, Sony came out and was like, no, that's just wrong. That's not. That's just a wrong
that's good to know.
listing or something like that. It's still,
Fair
and
enough.
then they just said holiday 2020 is still the planned release date. So I have a decent...
Well, it's coming up fast. We're almost halfway through the year already. So.
Right. Yeah, I know. They gotta announce it soon. The rumor now is June. Apparently, I've seen this rumor on like a ton of different websites and through Twitter and forums and shit. June 4th seems to be the rumor for the reveal.
I feel like, having worked in the electronics department before, like, wasn't Father's Day a big thing for tech gadgets and stuff? So that would almost make sense to
Usually,
me. June would be.
I think, like, yeah, a little before that. There's just like new shit announced to get dads excited. I don't know.
Right. That's what I was.
I never
feel
really
like I
connected
was told
that
in the past.
Yeah.
But then again.
Yeah. All right, sticking still with PlayStation, Marvel's Iron Man VR finally got a new release date. If you remember, this got delayed indefinitely the same time The Last of Us 2 did. And then last week we got a new Last of Us 2 release date, but nothing about Marvel's Iron Man VR. But it is coming out July 3rd. So
Nice.
if you have a PlayStation VR and are excited about this game, it is coming back out. The couple things I've read from previews is that it is really cool. I don't have a PSVR. I do love Iron Man, but I'm not going to buy a PS... Unless this game is like a perfect 10, I'm still going to wait on a PlayStation VR until a new VR 2 or wireless VR comes out, personally. What about you? What are your thoughts? Don't care about VR or Iron Man VR at all?
No.
You don't seem to be interested.
I do. I just don't. I feel like I don't hear enough about the VR stuff and the VR games. Like, it's not as prominent as everything else, and I feel like.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot less developed for it. There's more hardcore development.
Yeah. But I mean, like, even like people talking about it. Like, yeah, Iron Man VR will probably get a lot more hype and coverage and reviews and like people, sharing their experiences.
Like,
but
Half-Life Alyx came out this year, which people were stoked for and was really good. From what I'd heard.
Yeah.
I don't have a PC.
I feel like it's
my PC
a
could
small
run VR, though.
Community of VR gamers.
Yeah. And
like, I'd like to be one. I just don't think.
And PlayStation VR has sold really well, better than Sony's expectations every time they talk about it. So, and VR is selling well on PC. You just need a high-end PC to run it, which is the problem. You need a high-end PC as well as a $400+ headset. Yeah, it's extremely expensive, like Tibble was saying.
I'm excited to hear about it. I'm excited to
as far as like
see them
barrier
progress
to entry,
with this system.
If you have a PS4, PSVR is the cheapest way to get decent VR. The screen qualities are a little lower, and there's a lot of cords, which is what's the most off-putting to me. But it is cheap. Like, sometimes you can get them for less than $200, and the library is great for it. Like, some of the best reviewed VR games are exclusive to PSVR, but then there's equally, if not more, high reviewed ones that are only on PC and not on PSVR yet. So it's kind of split, which is tough when you're spending that much. If you want to play, I want to play all the high rated games because there's not a lot, and I'm not going to buy 2 headsets.
We'll see.
But yeah, looks cool. I'm excited to see how it reviews and see more gameplay from it. Because I love Iron Man, and like an Iron Man video game is what I want. I want one more in the vein of Spider-Man, where I can fly around and shit. But
maybe that'll come. We'll see.
Right. I have 2 more PlayStation specific articles. This one's kind of news. It's the PlayStation Studios brand. They're they're blanketing their first parties under what they're calling PlayStation Studios. So think Marvel Studios for movies, where there's just going to be a new splash logo whenever you're playing a PlayStation first party exclusive game.
Cool.
I do have it. It looks very similar to like an MCU intro, if you've ever seen an MCU movie. So you just get this, you're getting a shot Nathan Drake, Aloy, Ratchet and Clank, Kratos, Ellie, Sackboy, just in the PlayStation symbols. It's cool. Like, I love that kind of shit. Yeah.
I like it. It's very cinematic.
Right.
You know.
It's, yeah, straight out of the MCU. And Sony's first party games are, you know, some of the best video games out there. So it makes sense to try and put that advertising in there and more of a brand association for people who aren't us, you know, the people who go to the store and see Spider-Man, oh, cool. And then they're like, oh, shit. You know, this is going to be of high quality for the most part. The most recent one that hasn't been super up to snuff was Days Gone, but Days Gone still reviewed decently, and that game has a huge community and it sold super well, so just wasn't as good as the likes of, you know, Horizon, God of War. There's another one. Horizon, God of War, Spider-Man. There we go. I was like, there's 3 huge ones that came out in like 2 years.
The last.
Yeah. Next thing, PlayStation 4 lifetime sales cracked 110 million.
Yeah.
So that's a cool thing. It's selling like fucking insane. Where does that put it on the list? It's high. It might be top 3. PS2 is the highest. Like 150 or some shit like that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, PS2 155 million. Nintendo DS 154 million. Game Boy Color 118 million. PlayStation 4 is 110 million. So the PS4 will probably pass the Game Boy. I mean, as far as home consoles go, it's number 2. But consoles in general, it's getting there. I don't know. Do you think it'll crack Game Boy Color in its full lifetime? Because once the PS5 comes out, obviously sales are slower in general now because the market's getting saturated with PS4s.
Right, but you got to think the pricing might change and be more appealing and things like that. So I don't know. I think it could. I think it could creep up, but that's a lot to sell.
Right.
You know, to catch up and beat that. But then again.
Yeah, well, and if you think about it, the Game Boy and Game Boy Color was on the market for over 10 years to reach this number. Yeah. The Game Boy came out in 89, and then they're lumping in they did regular Game Boys, but then they colored the console, so I had a red OG Game Boy, and then the Game Boy Color came out, which had a color screen and had a little bit more processing power and shit like that, and that's all lumped into one. Which with PS4, the PS4 and PS4 Pro are all lumped into one as well. So.
Cool fucking.
Yeah, that's cool. Next big thing. Did you actually watch this trailer? The new Paper Mario got announced. Paper Mario: The Origami King.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Out in
I was
July,
watching it.
The same day as
my
Ghost.
Lunch break. That's what I thought. If you were to go back to our stream video and watch it, when you mentioned July 3rd, I was trying to think of what else was coming out July 3rd. And that's what it is.
Yeah, but this is July 17th.
Same thing. That's what I meant. Yeah,
I did hear about that, Tibril. Yeah, so like I'm excited for this. I love Paper Mario. I still don't know if the combat's gonna be turn-based or like more RPG-y. They didn't show much combat in the gameplay video or in the reveal.
I hope it's RPG. I don't really do turn-based as enthusiastically as other types of gameplay.
It's turn-based is fun. Like, so, well, you love Pokemon, and that's turn-based. And older Paper Mario RPG turn-based gameplay is more interactive. So, like, you'll use a jump attack, but then you still have to time your jumps to do more damage, and you still have to defend yourself when the enemy attacks. So it's like interactive turn-based. That's how the first two were. They've been radically different. So
we'll see. It looked good. I liked the way, you know, the art style they chose and the way it looked, and I think it's going to be really cool. Some of the anime effects throughout the game, just from short.
Yeah, and like they added some new looks like some new puzzly stuff where Mario like extends his arms like accordions, and then you manipulate shit to unlock doors or do other things or whatever. So that seems really cool. I'm not getting this right away because it's the same day as Ghost. So
Yeah, that's gonna take up a lot of time, I think.
yeah, and I want to
Knowing
see,
me,
because some of the Paper Marios aren't great. Like Sticker Star on the DS is not great, and if it's like that, I won't get it because
but playing Ghost will give us time to wait. Hear
right.
about Origami Mario, but
It is nice that the Switch finally has another first-party game coming out, because there hasn't been anything. It's been Animal Crossing.
Nothing. Literally
That's
nothing.
it.
Animal Crossing, and then Pokemon DLC, which isn't even like a release, but it's something specific. But yeah, you're right. And I don't think there's really anything after, except like any Mario remakes that they've been talking about.
The rumored Mario remakes and shit that are supposed to come in the fall.
Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else.
There's not. And honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to play the Pokemon DLC right away. Because when does it come out? Does it come out the same time The Last of Us does?
I mean,
Pokemon DLC.
I don't know. My priority might have to fall into.
Let's see. It just says June. I don't know if it has an actual date yet.
They did when they first.
When they first what? You cut out. You also are now frozen. Ryan got too excited about Pokemon, everyone. June 30th. Okay, so it's like a couple weeks after The Last of Us. Did we lose Ryan completely now? He is frozen? Might have to reconnect on the Discord call. He killed his stream. He's been having some call issues today, so I'm gonna hang up on him and recall him. Oh god, it's lost. I don't know what happened. I will recall you on Discord, so. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Hello? Yes, but now it's not capturing us correctly, so, yeah.
What happened?
No, you killed yourself, I think.
I didn't touch nothing. I was reading on my phone.
That's up for debate.
Whatever. It's fine. What was I saying? Does it matter? Probably not.
June 30th, the Pokemon DLC comes out.
Is it official?
That's what I could find online, so.
Or is that the June 3rd?
Yeah. Now that works, though, because we can probably finish Last of Us by then. Yeah. Why is this? Alright, there we go. There we go. I got his back. Yeah, what I could find was June 30th, so.
Alright, we'll see.
Now, this isn't a legit website, really, that I found it from, so let's see if I can find a better release date.
Well, like I said, I'm pretty sure there was a release date, and then they changed it and generalized June, so I'm wondering if...
Oh, like they didn't decide.
Not...
Yeah, I can't find anything from a more legit source. It's just a website I'd never heard of that said June 30th. Either way, if it comes out the same week as Last of Us, I won't be picking it up right away. Personally. Gotta prioritize that Last of Us story before it's all over the internet.
Enough.
Even though it's all over the internet now because of the leak. But it's easier to avoid it when it's a leak versus people having or just playing it, you know? Alright, now this is kind of a big pivot, and I don't know if you're going to be excited about this, but I'm stoked as shit for this. So, for a while now, a Diablo 2 remaster has been rumored. The rumor now is that apparently it is coming this year. This is from Jordan Alleman, IGN. Report suggests that the long-rumored remaster of Diablo 2 may be coming this year. It's believed to be called Diablo 2 Resurrected. Will launch in Q4, so, you know, like most games. The editors previously correctly predicted announcements for Overwatch 2, Diablo 4, and WoW Shadowlands. Cite sources close to the studio suggest that Vicarious Visions is supporting Blizzard in the project. They've been a development studio for a long time now. They most recently worked on the Crash Bandicoot revival, developing the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy, and Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, which, speaking of Vicarious Visions, they're developing Tony Hawk, which we'll talk about later. So it's not known when it'll be revealed. It's thought it should make headlines before its scheduled launch date, which makes sense. So the biggest thing for me, I love Revolution PFR times. I don't know what that means. I love Diablo 2, and I've put so much time into it. But it's also super close. Well, Diablo 4 is probably a few years out. But I'm excited for this. It's probably, I don't know if it's going to come to consoles, because Diablo 2 is PC exclusive. And, free Hong Kong. Gotcha. There hasn't really been anything on that I've seen recently as far as the free Hong Kong. Obviously, they still need to be freed, and Blizzard still sucks for that. But I don't have control, and I can't not play Diablo games, so I will be buying them. I'm sorry.
Understandable. Everybody has their crutch. It's no big deal. I don't know. I'm excited to hear about it. I'm always excited for things like that.
How much Diablo have you played?
Not as much as you.
Well, I know that. That's almost impossible.
Basically,
because you've only ever played Diablo 3, right?
I think so. I played for, because my brother was big into it, and he actually introduced me to it. And then when I got my own console, I was able to start playing. We all kind of played it, or a couple of us, for a while.
Yeah.
When I got my.
And I love Diablo 3 on
whatnot,
console. It works extremely well. Coming from somebody who's played Diablo 2, and Diablo 3 a shitload on PC.
Yeah.
I actually prefer playing Diablo 3 on console. I think it's just a better co-op experience, and it controls really well when you have your character control. Because it's a point-and-click isometric RPG, which obviously works amazingly well because I put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours into Diablo games.
Right.
On PC.
But yeah, so it's like I have it for Xbox, PlayStation. I'm watching it on the eShop for it to go on sale
for Switch. Yeah.
I want to bring it. I want to, having it on the Switch to be able to play it portably. Fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I've played it a lot. Obviously, fucking hemorrhaging money, but
yeah. If you find a good torrent, it would be hard to torrent Diablo 3, especially on PC, because a lot of the files are on their server. It's not straight downloaded to your PC. But with Diablo 2, obviously only on PC, are they going to try and transition it and release it on console as well? And is it going to go well? That's my biggest thing.
It seems to be, they're really pushing, console play, cross-platform play these days. I think especially in the past year.
Yeah, and
so
Diablo
I'm wondering
3
if they will.
has sold more on console than it has on PC. So it would make sense for them to want to get it to work on console, especially if it's coming out this year, to come out on a PlayStation 4 that has sold 110 million consoles, and then a Series X with that install base. They could make fucking bank on it, which is what Activision wants to do.
Yeah.
They like making money, like everybody, but...
Well, yeah, to even continue to have games come out for the PlayStation 4 with the new consoles, that'll still keep those sales floating for a couple and whatnot.
Right, yeah. Yeah, like, there were some rumors. I mean, obviously Rockstar is working on the next Grand Theft Auto. That's... Just because it's not announced doesn't mean it's not happening. Like, it's obviously happening.
Yeah.
But it's still a couple years out from things that I've heard. But, like, is that going to be a next-gen only game? Or are they going to want to release it on both? Because there's so many PlayStation 4s and Series X's out there. And so many people play GTA 5. Like, they'd make so much more money. But then that limits their development on it. I want it to just be next-gen exclusive. But from a business standpoint, I don't know.
I mean, could they like... Forgive me if I sound like an idiot, but they could do it like next gen exclusive, but only digitally available on PlayStation 4. Could they format it that way to make it so that they don't have to hemorrhage the money out for physical copies for every generation?
They could do that, but that still limits their development and like how much they can do with the new game.
True.
Because they have to limit it to the least common denominator, which would be a base
dumb it down.
PS4 or base Xbox One.
Yeah.
But they'd sell fucking gangbusters. So that's the thing that's tough.
Yeah. that's not necessarily a game that would sell a console. My opinion.
It would sell consoles
You
for
know what I
people
mean?
because GTA 5 is like the best selling fucking entertainment property of all time. It's insane.
I still
So
have
people would
this
buy
like
new consoles for it.
I have a mental block of Grand Theft Auto where it's like, how do people play this game so much? You just drive around and kill people. That's all there is to it.
GTA
Like I know
5.
there's a lot more, but it's like in my mind I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what people get into. I kill people for an hour and then I'm over it. Fuck.
No, so GTA 5 has sold 115 million copies.
Damn.
And it's always in the top 10 of game sales every month. Like, it sold 5 million copies in May. Like, this month so far. Like, what? What the fuck? Like, GTA 5 is good.
nuts.
It's GTA Online, and then they're printing money because people spend
Yeah.
real money to get more money in GTA 5 Online, or GTA Online. So it's
True.
like, that's fucking nuts. Oh, it might be more than that. This is an old article. So it's probably a lot higher than that, actually. Over 120 million as of February. Okay. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's as of November 2018, it is the most profitable entertainment product ever. But this is saying it's 150 million it's broken. Holy shit. So yeah. I think it depends on how far out it is. If it's like 3 years from now, I don't think it makes sense to release it on PS4 and Series X because the old gen is so far back now. But you never know. Never know.
They'll do whatever they want.
Right.
Have to deal with it.
Right. All right, next story. Not really GTA related, but kinda. 2K Games is remastering the Mafia trilogy, which are more serious takes on open world crime games. I've never played the Mafia games. Dylan really likes them.
Either.
This is from Engadget. Igor Bonifacet? Sick? I don't know how to say his last name. So yeah, this was rumored for a while, and they finally announced him this week. It sounds like, well, this is the first time they'll all be playable on one console, because Mafia 1 was PS1, Mafia 2 was PS2. No, that's a lie. Mafia 1 was PS2. Mafia 2 was PS3. Mafia 3 has been on current gen. Mafia 3 is probably the most well-known because it's sold the best, but it's also the worst from reviews and things that I read. It's extremely buggy, I guess. Which I guess they fixed a lot of it. I heard the story was good. I've never played any of these, so mine is all outside views and everything like that. Mafia 5 on Nintendo 64. I don't know, that's probably too adult for Nintendo. Older Nintendo for sure. But yeah, they're crime games. It's set in like open world city. It's more serious than GTA, which I think I said already. One of my friends described it in the past as like GTA, except you have to go the speed limit. So I don't know how accurate that is for that kind of thing. I have Mafia 3 because it was a PlayStation Plus game at one point.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was trying to think. I have that down.
Yeah, I never played it, so I don't know. This doesn't really do anything for me, but a lot of people are excited about it. Do they have a release date? Let's see. I haven't looked at it enough to even see that. Okay, so they haven't announced anything yet, except that they're going to talk more on May 19th. So maybe some release dates this week is my guess. I don't know. Can't speak on Mafia. People like it, so that's cool. Now, another remaster that got announced this week, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. This is straight from the Activision blog, which I didn't know was a thing until I found this article today. Because I was like, shit, I only read about this on Twitter and watched a video. I don't actually have an article for it, so I had to find one. It's by Activision Games blog staff. They don't even credit the person who writes it. All set to shred again. Original Birdman, Tony Hawk, and Vicarious Visions, who we just talked about, is helping with... What are they helping with? We just talked about it. Diablo 2 Remaster.
There you go. Yeah.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 radically remastered. I'm excited for it. I hope it's good. They've remade the first Tony Hawk game a couple times to meh results. Oh yeah, Dorothy, Blanche, Rose, and Sophia, the Golden Girls. I'm like hardcore Dorothy, I think, when I compare myself to them. You're Sophia for sure.
Me?
Yeah, you.
All right. For a minute there, I thought you were gonna say Blanche, and I didn't know how I would feel about that, but
I mean, old Ryan is probably Blanche, right?
college Ryan
Yeah.
was definitely Blanche.
Current Ryan
Oh
is
my
not
God.
Blanche. I don't know which one of us would be Blanche.
Uh,
None of us?
someone's a Blanche.
Who's Rose? Tivril's Rose, right? Tivril's a Rose.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
What would Kool-Aid be?
Could be Blanche because he's the only one played.
Yeah, but he's not like a whore.
I mean, he could be a whore for his one woman and still count.
That's not Blanche, though.
Blanche is a whore for only one thing. So, I mean, if you want to break it down,
I've got to Google whether or not I'm insulted.
Rose is the best character on the show.
Rose is Betty White. She's the
Yeah.
most innocent of them all.
Yes, Betty White plays Rose. Yeah, that's why you're Rose.
The opposite of a slut. Yeah, Rose. That's why.
She's like this ridiculous, like, small town girl. Her stories are off the charts.
Mm-hmm.
When she does it, it's so funny.
So he's a slut for Amber, but Blanche is
A slut for
yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
And herself, which is
Right.
one of the funniest parts of the show.
Yeah, man, I need to watch more Golden Girls. I think it's on
Show.
Hulu. Still.
Yeah, and I actually just started binging Just Shoot Me.
Oh
I love that
shit!
show.
I
It's
forgot
all
about
on
that
Hulu
show.
now.
Is it?
It's good. It holds up pretty good.
Does
The
it? I remember
humor is-
watching it a lot because my parents watched it.
Yeah. It's like a general humor.
Man, young ass David Spade's in that show too, right?
Yeah, he's like one of the main characters.
Mm-hmm. Isn't Rose dumb? I don't think she's dumb. She's just less cultured.
Yeah, she's boxed in her ways. She's
You
a
gotta
little
watch.
ditzy.
We should watch it together sometime and figure out who we all are.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 dropping in on September 4th, 2020. So now, have you played a lot of Tony Hawk in the past?
Yes.
Okay, so you know with 1 and 2, 2 they added manuals so you could extend your combos even more. Tony Hawk 3 added the revert so you could come out of a half pipe and keep your combos going. From the trailer, it looks like all of these have those, so even in Tony Hawk 1 you can do manuals and reverts to have these insane combos and shit, which is awesome. That's what I want. And the soundtrack, they're getting a ton of people back from the soundtracks for 1 and 2 as well as some new stuff, which is exciting. I hope it's good. Like I said, they've done remakes before and they've been meh, so I'm cautious. Vicarious Visions has made good stuff. The Crash remasters were amazing. Well, they're like full-on remakes, and Crash Team Racing is awesome. So they know how to remake a game.
Do you think they've been meh because of the way the games are made? Or do you think it's because, like, I don't want to say this
Part
and
of me
piss off
thinks
an
that.
entire
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like, yeah, skating, I don't want to say it's dead in the water, but skateboarding isn't as big as it was when we were growing up. You know, when this was the hype game to have.
Right.
And maybe that's why the sales aren't.
And skating video games are over the top, like the Tony Hawk ones. Skate's a little more accurate.
Yeah.
Still over the top though, but with the tricks
Kids
you can
have-
do, like it's arcadey
Yeah.
and insane. But that's why they're fun. And I don't know. I played the Tony Hawk 1 HD. It was called, I think, on PS3, and it was fun. But I don't know. It might just be that the gameplay doesn't hook me anymore. And then
If they remade it with hoverboards instead of skateboards, kids might buy the game.
That's true.
Who the fuck knows? So we'll see.
I don't
I'm
know.
excited. I'm curious to
I hope
check
it's
it out.
good, and I hope it does come out and I want it, and it does hook me like old Tony Hawk did. Because I played so much Tony Hawk back in the day. 1, 2, and 3, and then Thug, Tony Hawk's Underground. I played a fuckload. So I even played Project 8 a decent amount, which was a launch title for PS3.
I don't think I played that one.
Jason Lee's one of the main characters in that game who you do quests
Weird.
for. You make your own character, but then Jason Lee's like, you just go and meet him places and like pump up crowds and shit. He's all over that
weird.
game. Yeah.
So weird.
It is weird.
It's awesome,
He's dressed
weird.
kind of like Brody from Mallrats, which I'm into.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah.
Yes.
I never finished that one, but I played it a lot. But it also, there's going to be online modes. Like, if I can online graffiti mode some people, like if we can play against each other.
Yeah.
Like, that's sweet. I'm into that.
That is fucking legit.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's exciting. It's a budget title, so $39.99. It's not going to be $60. So I
Yeah.
mean, that makes it easier. There's like a deluxe edition, and then there's a collector's edition as well. So yeah, what is it? Here we go. The regular edition, $39.99. There's a digital deluxe, which is $49.99, which includes... It's not really telling me. It just tells me what the collector's edition has. I assume it's got some extra skins and some shit. I don't know. Then there's a collector's edition, which includes a exclusive design. Does it come with an actual skateboard? That can't be right.
That would be cool.
For only
that wouldn't
100?
surprise me.
Oh yeah, the deck is fully skatable. Also features a
Cool.
printed autograph from Tony Hawk. So not a real autograph, printed autograph. Yeah. If you pre-order it, you get access to the warehouse demo, which is the first level in Tony Hawk 1 in the summer. So if that's
Cool.
your thing, have at it. I'm sure Superman will play right when you enter, because that's the fucking warehouse song for sure. And their Goldfinger is on the soundtrack. So that's exciting. September 4th.
Cool.
Same day as Cyberpunk, right? Cyberpunk comes out September 4th.
Was it that early?
It's September. I know that.
Yeah,
oh,
no,
September 17th. Okay.
Okay.
What else is September? Avengers? Avengers game release date. Okay, so Avengers is September 4th. Still don't know if that game's going to
Okay.
be good, so who knows.
I know. I'm curious to see more, but we'll see.
It's supposed to be a demo or some sort of beta this summer. I think we'll get a better idea then. But I want Avengers to be good. I don't know if it's going to be good, though, which is a bummer. Cyberpunk, I know will be good. Yeah, Cyberpunk hype. For sure. Alright, next thing, Ubisoft finally announced their E3 digital event. Did you see this?
I think I caught the tail end of it on my art.
Yeah, it's just called
Hold up.
Ubisoft Forward. This is straight on Ubisoft's Twitter account. Save the date. Join us July 12th for Ubisoft Forward, a fully digital showcase with exclusive game news, reveals, and more. Stay tuned.
Yes,
Finally
it is already
get
in my
that.
calendar.
Valhalla gameplay we want.
Yeah. I hope so. That
We
would be
will.
nice.
We will. They'll do a deep dive, I'm sure, because that's going to be
Speaking
the biggest
of
game there.
Valhalla, did you see that little leak about the story mission that somebody found, whatever it was?
The one that comes with the pre-order?
Yeah,
I did see that. I don't remember
which
what it
sounds
was,
really cool.
but it sounded cool.
Hoping there would be something. The Beowulf story
Oh yeah,
mission.
that's right.
Which I love that
Hmm.
whole thing about Beowulf. The movie that they made a while back was awful, but
The CG
fair.
one?
With
It was-
Angelina Jolie.
It was alright. It wasn't awful. It was okay. Who directed it? Somebody big
I
directed
love
that.
it. Like, I've watched it like 8 times, so I like it, but it was not as good as it's been for that kind.
Someone, yeah, Robert Zemeckis directed it. The guy who directed Back to the Future,
Well,
which is one of the best movies ever made.
true.
He's also directed
So-
Forrest Gump. He's also directed Castaway. He directed Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He's directed a ton of good movies.
Yeah, like incredible.
And then Beowulf was like, okay. What's the most recent thing he's directed? Welcome to Marwin, that Steve Carell movie, 2018. Never saw it. Looks like a picture of him as a doll on the cover. I don't know. Directed Flight, that Denzel Washington movie. Polar Express. He's done a lot of work with Tom Cruise, apparently.
Tom
Tom Hanks.
I was like, I feel like There's a giant difference there,
They're
but I
basically
don't
the
know.
same person.
You were the one reading it, so I wasn't sure if that's what you were reading. Like,
No, I don't think he's directed Tom Cruise in anything. Doesn't look like it. Beowulf is a good story. J.R.R. Tolkien is the big reason it was popular. That makes sense. Oh, The Frighteners. Great Michael J. Fox movie. Probably one of his last live action roles. Before they did the Michael J. Fox show that only went one season, I think. Which is a bummer. I liked it.
yeah.
Alright, tangenting too much. Guerrilla Collective was announced. This is an article. I'm going to mix some articles. This is from Joe Scrubble's IGN, and then also going to be pulling from Ethan Gach at Kotaku. So, I don't know, like, I love Kinda Funny. They're a, like, entertainment group of people who used to work at IGN. Now they do their own shit. The last couple years, they've been doing the Kinda Funny Games Showcase, which has been an indie games showcase that kind of cropped up when people started covering indie games less. So for people to get their games out there, it's like a really well produced live slash put together YouTube video that they also stream live when it premieres. And this year they're working on this thing called the Guerrilla Collective. So it's a multi-day showcase focused on indie and mid-sized studios, hosted by Kinda Funny's Greg Miller, taking place across the weekend of June 6th. So it'll have 2 online press events, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, followed by days of demos and developer interviews. So that's cool. That was newly announced this week. I'm glad they're still doing that kind of shit because it's been really well received and well done. So
Yeah.
that's exciting.
Cool.
And then this next thing I also pulled is this is an article from Kotaku. Here's the not E3 2020 press conference schedule. So it's everything that we know about that's happening over the next couple months. So the first thing on the list was the Summer Game Fest thing on May 12th, which I think was what day of the week was that? Tuesday? That's when the Epic thing was shown off. So the Guerrilla Collective June 6th. There's a PC gaming show June 6th. One-off broadcasts. It's going to take place during the larger Guerrilla Collective, it sounds like. Then there's the Steam Game Festival. It's part of Keighley's Summer Game Fest. And what do we got? Various games. Yeah, we don't know much else about it. Apparently Microsoft will be part of the event. CD Projekt Red has their own specific Night City Wire, June 11th. I assume it'll just be right on their Twitch. EA Play, June 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern. We know that. Ubisoft Forward we just talked about. Microsoft Xbox 2020 is in July. That's when Halo Infinite gameplay is going to be shown. And more exclusive stuff, first-party stuff for Xbox. And that's all we got right now for events. Nintendo's thing got pushed again, I think Nintendo said, or the rumor was, and we still don't know when Sony's doing something. It's going to be soon. Hopefully really
I hope it's soon, and hopefully it's a surprise, like, this afternoon. Woo! Yeah, come on, Sony. Do something exciting.
I think if anything, it'll be day before. Be like, hey, tomorrow, PS5, this time.
Yeah.
And, like, that'll be it. It'll just be a tweet, and then the world will fucking lose their minds.
Yeah.
I'll take a long lunch and watch it all.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah. Oh, Jared Tolkien wrote an essay defending it as a heroic epic. Interesting. So I don't have any more news, actually. That's the last I got for news.
I have something.
Okay, what do you got?
It's from PC Gamer. Andy Chalk wrote it.
Okay.
BioWare is starting to talk about Anthem.
Oh, really?
And what they're going to do for it. So there was an update posted by Christian Daly, who used to be the franchise development director for Anthem.
Okay.
Something about BioWare Austin is doing. They're starting to talk about what went wrong and how they can communicate with the people and keep people updated. There's not much. It's literally, they're just like, they're starting to put their feelers out and figure out how they can revamp.
Okay.
Before it's completely. So, nothing really yet, but at least, like, we haven't really heard anything in, over a year.
Yeah, we've just seen the rumors that are like,
yeah,
they're working on a relaunch.
They're going to do this, they're going to do that. So now they're trying to find out. They're just starting at the bottom. What went wrong? Where do we start building?
Okay.
But I was just excited that something is being talked.
Yeah, I mean, I want an Anthem. I want Anthem to be a game I want to play,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
after a couple weeks, that's not what it was. I did have fun with it. It obviously has problems.
So cool. It's cool.
It's nice that they're actually addressing it and talking about it, and not just
Yeah.
quiet and like, oh
Right.
yeah,
Which
Anthem was fine. We'll just
yeah. We'll fix it and
it
then
sold
just let
well.
it just fizzle out and just let it disappear. Nope.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that's cool.
So
I like that they're addressing it. EA is one of the worst companies at being transparent about their games, which that's kind of how gaming is now. When shit's wrong, they want people to talk about it. When you don't like something, they fans like Xbox's event last week. They're like, "Hey, we're sorry we misled expectations with the gameplay and stuff like that. We'll listen better and be more communicative." Like that kind of cuts down on the negativity that is the internet and reactionary culture that is Twitter and shit like that. So I think that helps.
Yeah.
And games take forever and they're a lot of work, so I try not to be negative like that because I know how much work it is and like how much it hurts to have like the time and work you put in just be like, oh, it wasn't what I wanted, or oh, they said they were gonna do this, and then a company's like, well, you can't talk about it, and then the hate just builds online and in forums and shit like that.
But and you gotta it's not like me telling you something that rubs you the wrong way. It's like millions of gamers coming down and saying, you fucking suck.
This game fucking sucks. It's the worst game ever. And Anthem is not the worst game ever. Like
no. God,
and
no.
even
Anthem
the worst
still...
game ever, people weren't trying to make the worst game ever. They're trying to make something good.
Yeah.
Granted, I will talk shit about bad games, but like, not in a way that's aggressive and almost
you're not attacking
violent to an extent.
You're not attacking. It's what do they call it? Constructive criticism.
Yeah. Yeah.
So...
It's like this game mechanic sucks. Sorry. Like this just isn't fun.
But so I do. I hope it's gonna be a long road. They made that clear. It's a long process.
Yeah.
It'll happen. It's happening.
Well, and it's tough because like if EA doesn't see value in it, how much effort are they gonna put in it? Like how many resources are they gonna put to try and fix it and relaunch this game? Because if they see it as it's failed and like even putting it and relaunching it won't make them much money, why would they do it?
Right. And I think their plan of starting out by how do they communicate with the player base and how do they reach them is good, because what do we want to see? We should be able to tell them. So if people are still interested in this game, that's where they should start to see what kind of fan base they have,
right, and like who would come back, or would you spend money if this and whatever. Yeah, it's a good idea. I hope it leads to something. I'm worried about BioWare in general because they haven't made a good game. They haven't made like a high quality BioWare style game in a while. Dragon Age Inquisition, probably the last one, which I loved. But like, yeah, we've talked about BioWare enough on this show.
Yeah.
We don't have to dig back into their backlog.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, what have you been playing lately?
Assassin's Creed Origins still.
All right. How's that going?
Good. I think we talked about it last Sunday, and I mentioned how it took me some time to get into it. I really like it, and now I'm into it to the point where now I'm hunting trophies while playing through it. So I have like 50%, I think, and I'm probably only 50%, maybe 60% done with the game.
I was just gonna ask, like, have you finished the main story?
No, definitely not. I'm close though. I can taste it.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. I like it, and it just gets me more hyped for Valhalla, having played Odyssey. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm intentionally not playing, like, hopping back into Odyssey or anything, because I don't want to burn out. Because I'll burn out on Assassin's Creed. It's happened before, and I don't want that to happen, because I'm so excited for Valhalla.
So, I get that, but
yeah.
So far I'm good, and then I'm thinking with these other games coming out, then that'll refresh me for by the time.
Yeah.
Super stoked. What about you? What are you up to?
I've been playing Nier Automata a lot. Also finished the first Borderlands DLC this week with Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I played a little My Friend Pedro. Haven't played that since like last Sunday after the show, but that is cool. It's a nice hop in. I can do a couple levels. Nier Automata is really good. I did so. All right, I finished it this morning, kind of, because you don't. There's like 27 endings in the game. Most of them are like joke endings. Like I told you, I unplugged my operating system chip. That's an ending because you just die, and then the credits roll. And then if you go like after, if the main mission pops and you're supposed to go this way, if you go another direction, it's like, oh, I got one this morning. Or it's like, oh, 9S couldn't get away from his curiosity of robots and was never seen again. And then the credits rolled, and that was an ending. But there's 5 main endings, like A, B, C, D, E are the 5 big ones. I got ending A, which is the first one you get. And then I was reading about it because I honestly don't know if I want to play it more right now. So I was reading up on it, and apparently that's not really an ending because the next playthroughs you do continue that story. So the main first 2 playthroughs, you play as 2B in the first one. She's like the lady whose ass is all over the place all the time. And then 9S is kind of your sidekick. He's more of an observer android guy, not android. Shora, I don't know. You're these kind of android creatures made by humans, but then there's androids who are enemies, so the terminology is confusing. The second playthrough, you play as 9S, and it's very similar, I guess, to the first playthrough from what I read, which I could probably fly through it in like 5 hours, but I don't know if I want to. And then the third playthrough, I think, is radically different. I believe it adds another character. So the C, D, and E endings are a lot quicker to get, because you can get one of those 3 with your third playthrough, but then you can just hop back in, do something to get a different one, hop back in, do something to get that different one. But do I want to do that is the big question. And the answer right now is no. I loved the game and I loved the story, but I'm ready to play something else. And I could come back to it later because I did really like it and I liked the story. I liked ending A. It's like ending A was cool, but I do kind of want to see where that goes. And I was like, do I just go watch YouTube videos and shit? And from the stuff that I read, it's like you're still not going to get quite what they are from just doing that. So I don't know.
What are you going to play instead?
Maybe I am going to play the Resident Evil 2 remake, which I've been meaning to play since I got it for Christmas.
Nice.
Because I love Resident Evil 2, and I've heard the remake's amazing. And I have it, and it's installed and ready to go. And it's shorter, I think. Like, I'll probably get it done in like a week.
Sweet. Unless
I get distracted with other shit. I also... Oh yeah, this is where the main anime shit comes from, Nier. But I also downloaded the Phantasy Star Online 2 because it came out on Xbox One this week. This week? Recently. Within the last week or so. It's a free-to-play MMO made by Sega. Apparently the story is not good, but the gameplay is rad and fun as shit, and like that'll keep you going and playing it. So I set that up to download on my Xbox One. Because I like MMOs, and I like hopping in and trying them out, and this one's free. It does, I guess, right when you log in, is in your face, like, oh, do you want to buy shit? Do you want more costumes? Do you want this kind of shit? But you can just ignore it and keep going. There's no pay-to-win strategies. You can play the whole game. And I guess the classes are really fun. So one of the ones from this article that I read, you have a samurai sword, and then you have a bow. So you can either do range shit, or you can get up in and hack and slash. And it plays like an action game, not like a WoW where you're just toggling these abilities, like you're going in swinging. But then there's also I forget what it was. I think it's like a summoner who has like hover boots, and you just like control your summons while you're hovering up in the air. And then there's just like cool twists, and the gameplay's super fun. From everything I read, I'm like, I'll give it a shot. It's fucking free, and I like MMOs. Stream it? Maybe I'll stream it. I was thinking of setting my shit up to stream Nier, but then I finished it. So yeah, that's a good idea. I will let you know, Tivril, if I stream it. But it's on PC as well. I don't know if your PC can run it or not. I know yours can't, Ryan. I'm talking Tivril specifically.
Yeah, no, I knew better.
But I downloaded it on Xbox, but I think we'd be able to play together anyway, either way. It's not on PS4 yet. It will be eventually, but it's technically still in like beta, and I'm assuming Microsoft paid some money to get it exclusive on their console for now. Which is fine, because it's free. And I don't know if I'll like it or not. But I'm going to try it sometime. Yeah. A little bit of Animal
Sweet.
Crossing. Oh, I have been playing a decent amount of Smash. I didn't even mention that. Because when I use my elliptical, I can use my Switch and play with the Joy-Cons. If I try to use a controller, it's more dangerous and I could fall. So I don't do that.
Yep.
But the annoying thing is, I think because I'm too far from my console, every like 10th button press just doesn't work. And sometimes it's really bad. So like I'm trying to do an up smash and I'm just attacking forward. It's not registering my up press. And that gets frustrating, especially when I'm good at Smash, which I am. So it's like I'm dying stupidly, or like I'm just not getting the hits that I want to get. But all I'm doing is playing through classic mode with everybody to try and finish it with every character, because they're specific kind of to each character. You get like little bits of different story, and then sometimes an exclusive boss and shit. Like for example, Luigi's was like Luigi's Haunting is what it was called or something, and you fight like Dark Link and Dark Kirby, and then the end boss was Dracula from Castlevania. So they kind of theme them, which is cool, and it's something easy to do. Each run takes like 10 minutes, so I'm getting through each character because there's like fucking 75 characters in Smash, and I'm usually on the elliptical for a half hour to an hour depending on the day. So that's fun. The controls are a tad
I need to
frustrating.
jump back into that one day.
Yeah,
it's been a hot minute since I played some.
You should play, because I want to play it with people, because it's fun. Nobody ever wants to play.
Maybe I'll look into that. Maybe I'll dabble after Origins.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to be done this week.
It sounds like you're probably close to the end if you would want to be.
Yeah, I have to. I've actively avoided like looking anything up, because
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward with this game. Odyssey, I had to look a couple things up, but nothing like no spoilers or stuff, and that's what I'm trying to avoid since it's been out so long. I don't want to come across anything that's not labeled spoiler anymore.
Right, yeah, because it's been so long that they'll just fucking here's what happens at the end without putting a spoiler warning, because it, like you said, has been so long.
So I'm almost there, and then maybe I'll play some.
It's fun. I'm probably, once I finish, because I'll eventually finish beating it with every character, I'll probably hop back into the World of Light campaign mode. The problem is sometimes that's hard, and if I die because of a controller issue, I'm gonna be pissed. In this one, if I die, I can just continue and my score goes down and whatever, I don't give a fuck. I just want to finish it with every character.
Yeah.
But if I die in World of Light against some hard shit because my Joy-Con just didn't register my press, it's gonna piss me off. So that's why I haven't done that
Sounds
yet.
like what that streamer was talking about a couple months back when he posted about getting angry and they just need to.
Oh god. That was Ninja. Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. Control that anger, just get up and
it's
try
different
again.
if I die of my own volition. That's my fault. If it's because the peripheral just doesn't register, that's not my
Fair
fault.
enough. No, it's not. I mean, kind of, because you're not close enough physically.
Right,
But
yeah. Shut up. I'm trying to be fit and play video games, okay? But that's why Animal Crossing is perfect for the elliptical, because it doesn't matter if my fucking A button doesn't press. I just have to press it again.
And Pokemon, by the way, also Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't know if I could. And once the DLC comes out, but I don't know if there's enough that I want to do. I have to catch them all still, but
that's why I started Sword, a whole new.
Oh yeah, I forgot you did that.
Keep the one. I'll play the DLC on the other one.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been looking at other Switch shit that I could play. I popped into Final Fantasy IX a couple months ago because I never played it, and I know people really like that one. I could go back to that.
I should check out the eShop this week. I really like to browse it. Like
they have crazy sales sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I'll buy like 3, 4, 5 games at a time, just to have them, and then just dabble in them. I mean, if it's a 89-cent game, I'll play it for an hour or two.
That's the thing. It's
just to see it.
And they do those crazy sales because Nintendo's store isn't curated well. If you don't have a Switch, it's just like, here's shit, and the new shit's always at the top. But the reason people do those crazy sales is because you'll see them, they'll be there in deals, but it's like a $20 game will sometimes be 89 cents. But then after they do that sale for a week, then that game is charted on top selling games for a few weeks. So then it sells more because it's there. So it's like a strategy that these smaller companies do to actually get more real full price sales later. So
which I don't look at the bestsellers list ever. I don't really look at that.
I do if I'm like bored as shit, Every once in a while, I'm just bored and I want to peruse. It's like, and then I will look at it. But then part of me is like, this is only on here because it was probably 50 cents last week and it might not be good. So I look it up to see.
Real quick, speaking of the eShop, they announced that, well, there are more games coming to the SNES and NES little platform.
Oh, the
in
classics?
The Switch.
Nice. I haven't looked at those recently.
Yep, they're adding more games to each of those. But more importantly, Nintendo, the president or whoever he was, said that they have like 15 million plus subscribers to the online service.
I did hear that the numbers went up a lot. Animal Crossing probably helped, is my guess.
And they said they're going to add more and kind of keep enhancing the online services as a whole, not just free games for the NES. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They're going to look at it more.
Maybe Smash exciting. Can run better online.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Infrastructure, maybe.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How what? What are you asking? How about Tivril? I missed that. I don't know. We'll do an outro quick and then talk to you a little bit more. But yeah,
for sure.
This is our weekly Twitch show. I'm Brandon.
I'm Ryan.
And Brandon and Ryan Game Talk. You can find us live every Sunday, twitch.tv/LairdBrandon at 10 a.m. Post later that day on the Laird Brandon YouTube page. You can find me on Twitter, LRDBrandon, and Instagram with the same handle. Ryan, you are...
Dark Siren 89
with a Y. Siren with a Y.
With a Y. Siren with a Y. Instagram, Twitter, everywhere.
Yeah.
Twitch.
Yeah, that's your handles and shit too. If you guys have any questions, tweet them at us. Post on our Instagram. Post on the YouTube comments. Share the videos if you like it. Tell your friends about it. We're just kind of trying to build skills as far as online hosts, and we like talking about video games, so it's something fun we like to do.
Constructive criticism is always welcome.
Right, yeah.
Or just come hang out with us and talk shit.
Right, yeah. All right, well, we will talk to you all next week. Have a good one.
Bye, friends.